the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
Right.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand.
The hip-hop landscape has been rocked by yet another seismic shock. And this time, the aftershocks are rattling the very foundation of music royalty. 50 Cent has once again flipped the industry on its head, but this isn't just another round of shots or subliminals. This time, he's dropping bombshells. And the target sitting squarely in the crosshairs? Jay-Z.
On this contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. If you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that?
he had one. Exactly. He had one.
And he didn't show up.
He had like 20 now. He had like 18 since he been down. He had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was after that, he got them shits. He's like drinking. He's pictures with him fucking thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, he was like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brought you like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you niggas this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's crazy. He just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation, bro. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. What the fuck is that? Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh, wow. So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. His proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy.
I don't know. That was a real suburb question.
Yeah, I know, right?
Proximity.
And the proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit parade word. I had to learn that.
Do you think he fucking knew all of the shit that was going on? Yeah, that was like a...
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it,
Like I said,
no matter how you answer that shit, you snitching.
That was a nice kind of... You asked the question like a fan.
hey, I grew up with white people, but the one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
You know what I mean? Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Leshimindua.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson. That's the one I pronounce.
Branson. That's the Branson lifestyle. You're gonna be outside.
Smith, you're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You don't.
The man long held up as the symbol of hip-hop's elite, the billionaire mogul, the cultural icon, the artist fans and peers alike have crowned the GOAT. But according to 50 Cent, the image isn't what it seems. He claims he's pulled back the curtain, and what's behind the throne isn't royalty, it's rot. It all began on a random Tuesday. No warning, no teaser, no build-up. Just a sudden upload to 50 Cent's Instagram. A grainy, distorted video clip appeared with a stark title card, The Truth About Sean Carter. Fans were stunned. The footage allegedly showed behind-the-scenes moments from early 2000s backstage meetings, audio snippets of business conversations, shadowy visuals, and cryptic images of documents partially redacted, but labeled Rockefeller Holdings. Then came 50's voiceover, calm, measured, deliberate. Everybody sees the success, he said, but nobody asks what it cost. Not money, silence, loyalty, and fear. From that moment on, it was clear to fans this wasn't just another rap beef. This was something different, an accusation, a challenge, and a narrative meant to shake the culture itself.
And I realized that later, but I'm just saying to you, I haven't seen him in a long time. That's all I'm saying. When I hadn't seen him in a long time, and then I heard this shit, and then I looked and I saw Mufasa, I said, whoa. That's all that fucking happened, bro. You think this is on my phone? This is my phone. This is happening in real time. I'm going, yo. He said, yo.
You just gotta say everyone gets these jokes, bro. That's what you gotta say.
Yeah, no,
rappers, listen, comedians are the new rappers, bro. That's
why
the
do
thing.
people come to my page, bro?
That's true.
I know what I'm
You
saying.
know what they say? Well, you don't think you're gonna have your next? Yeah, that's what they say to me, buddy. Well, you're next, buddy. You're fucking, yeah, you laughing at this.
And you're not worried at all.
Why?
Because you don't got nothing.
I don't have it.
All right.
Yeah, there's no girls gonna come out.
Why you sound skeptical?
Because I think there are some women
Damn,
that are
Al.
like, no,
Yeah,
I
what's
think
up
there's
with
some
this guy?
women that are like,
This guy's supposed to be from Queens, bro.
no,
He's reflecting his fucked up experience.
you take off the corner one time.
No, what I'm saying is I know a couple of exes that fucking throw me under the bus.
You should let him have the corner. None of this would have happened if you let him have the corner. We'd be fine.
You know there's some like opportunists.
He's
that they'll
he's
just
going.
they'll just throw out the
Girls
fucking.
with
But that's what I'm saying. So you had to have something. Look, if you already interacted with the person, right, and you hadn't had a bad experience, it would take more for them to say some of the shit that you see these people say. Right? Like, you go, what made you, even when we part ways, and because a lot of times when we interact with people, they're not just having fun for tonight. They think we're bleeding into this hardcore relationship that may not materialize. Right? So I see what you're saying, where they can look and go, well, look, you met the girl in 2003. You hung out with her. You had a good time after the show with 30 girls there. You just went and y'all hung out, right? And y'all just part ways. Right? So there's no negative things between it. But she can look up at the TV now, and you've been a success since then. Feel like that's my life. I was supposed to be there. And be upset with you and say something. But will it have any merit to it?
If I gotta keep
That
it real,
woman hasn't been in my...
you ain't always have the most amicable breakups. Do you remember where, I think it's your baby moms, where it's like she was kind of speaking out, and then all of a sudden the house just got burnt down.
Yeah, but you know, it happens. Left eye. She burned the house down.
This nigga is crazy.
No, my God, he goes, wow. So I know how you feel about me now. No, he's going. He's great. So he saw me like the man. I want my block back. He go, I have faith in our just uses.
I'm a
I
civilian
believe
now.
there would be consequences to listen to those behaviors and actions that this brother is talking about.
I agree, man.
Why is that a part of his thought process today while we're here having a good time?
That's a
No, I just said, look, you do have people that really, look, when you break up with them, they don't care about you anymore.
Yeah.
So they'll say things and you go, yeah, but...
This was something far bigger. The video exploded instantly. Within hours, it racked up millions of views, and the hashtag Jay-Z Exposed surged worldwide. Less than 24 hours later, 50 Cent escalated things, releasing what he labeled Part 1, Foundations. The 30-minute expose challenged the familiar story of Jay-Z's rise, presenting an alternative narrative that 50 claimed had been deliberately sanitized over the years. According to him, the journey from the Marcy projects to Madison Square Garden wasn't driven by ambition alone, but was allegedly supported by unnamed backers he described as tied to the criminal underworld. Individuals he said were now either deceased or serving federal sentences. The implication was clear. Success, in this version of events, wasn't earned in isolation. It was assisted. 50 didn't stop there. He shared what he claimed were scanned copies of handwritten agreements, pointing to early partnerships between Rockefeller Records and now-defunct shell companies. According to 50, those entities were allegedly used to funnel illicit funds into early album production, artist signings, and promotional campaigns. One document, he said, showed Jay-Z's initials beside a payment schedule labeled Silent Investors. None of the materials were independently verified, but their release alone was enough to ignite controversy, speculation, and a firestorm of debate across the culture.
Rodney Lil Jones Jr. filed his federal lawsuit against Diddy earlier this year, in which he referenced Diddy's infamous parties as seemingly the scene of a number of the allegations he now faces, including sex trafficking, forced drugging, and compromising footage of celebrities that have been held as blackmail. Stevie J seemingly responded with a post to Instagram with the caption, "This is what a real Diddy party looks like." The video showed a number of famous faces, including Jay-Z and Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, her then-husband Kanye West, Naomi Campbell, and several others who were all together to celebrate Diddy's 50th birthday in 2019. Fast forward to 2024, 50 was asked why there have been so many silent voices when it comes to celebs speaking out about Diddy, as if they're afraid to speak up. 50 replied in part, "Some of them were involved at the parties and enjoyed themselves, so they don't know what the F is on the tape or what's not on the tape. So they're not going to say anything because they might have had too much fun." And then you got other people who look at it and go, "Well, that's not my business and I don't want to be in it." Then you got a part of our culture that says that's snitching or dry snitching. It's uncomfortable for me to say what I said because I've been saying this stuff for 4 or 5 years. Everybody else is not going to be as comfortable as I'm saying it. 50 Cent then alleged there's one famous friend that is aware of Diddy's alleged disturbing behavior. R&B legend Mary J. Blige, who got her start at Diddy's Bad Boy Records, has been a longtime friend of the embattled rapper and producer, but she reportedly has a great relationship with 50 Cent as well. When asked if Mary J. Blige reached out to 50, he responded, No, you know what? Mary never reached out to tell me not to F up Puffy, because she knows he does that stuff." As Diddy and 50 Cent have long been in the rap game, they share another commonality, and that's 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his youngest son, Daphne Joy Navarez. The actress and OnlyFans model was named in Rodney Jones' suit against Diddy, as she was referenced to as an alleged sex worker of Diddy's that also gets paid a monthly stipend. She has denied those allegations in a post made to social media, writing, "I am deeply hurt by the lies in Rodney Jones' lawsuit. The claim that I'm a sex worker is 100% false and character assassination. I am retaining an attorney to explore all legal remedies against both Rodney and his attorney." 50 Cent seemingly poked fun at the allegation of the mother of his son being an alleged sex worker. In a post made to his social media page, 50 wrote a caption, "I didn't know you was a sex worker, you little sex worker, LOL." But this would prompt Daphne Joy to respond to her ex again on social media, but this time would accuse 50 directly of rape and being abusive during their relationship. She would write in part, "Everything is a joke to you until our safety is compromised, which is happening now. You are wreaking real havoc, frenzy, and chaos onto people's lives. How would you feel if Sire was the one in handcuffs? For nothing. Let's put the real focus on your true evil actions of raping me and physically abusing me. You are no longer my oppressor, and my God will handle you from this point on. You have permanently damaged the last hope I had for you as a father to preserve our family with these last and final false claims made against me. You have broken our hearts for the last and final time." Those allegations against 50 Cent would prompt him to fire back against his ex Daphne Joy and sue her for—
This was something far bigger. The video went viral almost instantly, racking up millions of views within hours as the hashtag Jay-Z exposed surged worldwide. Less than a day later, 50 Cent followed up with what he labeled Part 1, Foundations, a 30-minute expose that challenged the familiar narrative of Jay-Z's rise. According to 50, the well-known story of a journey from Marcy Projects to Madison Square Garden had been carefully curated. He claimed that Jay-Z's earliest funding came from unnamed figures tied to the criminal underworld. Individuals he alleged are now either deceased or serving federal sentences, suggesting that the ascent wasn't fueled by ambition alone, but by hidden assistance. 50 went further, presenting what he described as scanned copies of handwritten contracts showing early connections between Rockefeller Records and now-defunct shell companies. He alleged these entities were used to funnel illicit money into album production, artist signings, and promotions. One document, according to 50, appeared to show Jay-Z's initials beside a payment schedule labeled Silent Investors. Fans were immediately divided. Some dismissed the material as vague, outdated, or potentially fabricated. Others felt a troubling pattern was emerging, and they paid attention. Then came Part 2, The Broken Circle. In it, 50 shifted focus to what he called the sacrifices behind success, introducing anonymous testimony from a former Rockefeller executive who claimed several artists were pressured into contracts that stripped them of royalties and rights, allegedly signed under duress. One quote stood out. "People think it was all champagne and platinum. It wasn't. Some of us left with nothing." He knew He planned it. According to 50, Jay-Z allegedly leveraged loyalty and fear, forcing artists to choose between exposure or exile. The most unsettling moment came with a slide titled Silenced, listing the names of 5 former Rockefeller affiliates, some well-known, others not, who later vanished from the industry or became entangled in serious legal trouble. The implication was unmistakable. There was a reason certain voices were never heard. The fallout was immediate. Blogs exploded. YouTubers rushed out breakdowns, timelines, and lyric analyses, with some claiming Jay-Z had been confessing in plain sight for years. Even longtime defenders grew uncertain. As speculation flooded social media, one question echoed louder than the rest. Could any of this be true? And perhaps just as telling, why hasn't Jay-Z responded?
50 Cent said those allegations were unequivocally false and would claim she made the shocking allegations in retaliation after he moved to take sole custody of their son. Since that suit, Daphne has deleted her Instagram post accusing 50 of rape and physical abuse. 50 Cent was asked by The Hollywood Reporter the latest in the defamation suit. The rapper and television producer said he tiptoes around the Daphne stuff and explained why. He said, "I got a family court case. The allegations that came out, she posted things to her page saying some crazy stuff. But this comes 8 hours after I filed for custody for my son. And she put that up in response to that, and I'm like, ugh. In this climate, you know how quickly they pass judgment. Things have worked out since she said those things." He went on to add, "I'd like to respond and say some wild stuff, but I've got to sustain that for my son." 50 was asked if he was worried about the allegations, especially given he's making a docuseries about an alleged abuser. And 50 replied, "It is damaging. It is damaging just to have anything said about you at this point, because you have people out there who don't believe your intentions, and if things are going in a positive direction for you and something pops, they gasp." He went on to say for entertainment purposes, they exploit that as much as possible, but there's no merit to it. But one thing 50 wasn't asked was if he believed Diddy would be formally charged and or potentially indicted for the many allegations he still faces. But attorney Ben Chu, who represented Johnny Depp during his trial against Amber Heard, says he does see an indictment coming down in Diddy's future.
I agree with that. I mean, obviously, I don't have any inside information. I don't think many people do, but I do think the signs are ominous. These are very grave matters. As you know, there have been 2 raids on his properties, and that's obviously very ominous signs for him. Although, interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence, but still, these are very serious matters. So, I think he faces some serious reckoning.
Diddy faces a staggering number of civil lawsuits for sexual misconduct, 10 that have been filed since last November. Former adult film star Adria English filed her suit on July 3rd of this year, claiming she was first employed by Combs in 2004 and was groomed into sex trafficking over time. In May of this year, April Lampros filed her lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of battery and sexual assault. 2 days prior to Lampros' suit being filed, Crystal McKinney also filed a suit against Diddy. McKinney alleges she met Combs at a studio where he gave her a lace joint, alcohol, then forced her to the bathroom and forced her to perform oral sex on him. Rodney Jones Jr. filed his lawsuit in federal court in February of this year that accuses Combs and the people who work with him of being part of an illegal racketeering enterprise. He also accused Diddy of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and harassment. Then there's a suit filed by a woman under the moniker Jane Doe, which was filed in December of 2023. Doe alleges she was gang raped and sex trafficked by Combs and former Bad Boy Records president Harve Pierre when she was just 17 years old and in the 11th grade. Liza Gardner filed her lawsuit against Combs and R&B singer Aaron Hall in November.
What followed felt bigger than beef. It felt like an event. The video exploded online, racking up millions of views within hours as hashtags tied to Jay-Z's name trended worldwide. Within a day, 50 Cent released what he labeled Part 1, Foundations, a lengthy expose challenging the familiar origin story of Jay-Z's rise. According to 50, the journey from Marcy projects to global dominance had been carefully polished over the years. He alleged that early funding came from shadowy, unnamed backers with criminal ties, figures he claimed were now dead or imprisoned, suggesting the ascent wasn't fueled by ambition alone, but assistance. He followed with images he said were scans of early handwritten agreements, pointing to shell companies connected to Rockefeller-era deals, hinting these entities were used to quietly bankroll albums, artists, and promotions. Fans were split. Some dismissed it as vague, outdated, or fabricated, while others sensed a pattern worth questioning. Then came part 2, the broken circle. This time, 50 shifted focus to what he described as the cost of success, sharing anonymous testimony from a former Rockefeller executive who claimed artists were pressured into contracts that stripped them of rights and royalties. One quote echoed across social media: "People think it was all champagne and platinum. It wasn't. Some of us left with nothing." 50 alleged Jay-Z wielded loyalty and fear, forcing artists to choose between exposure and exile. The most chilling moment was a slide titled "Silenced," listing former affiliates, some obscure, some recognizable, who faded from the industry or became entangled in legal trouble. The implication was clear, though unproven: missing voices, unanswered questions. The fallout was immediate. Blogs, YouTubers, and analysts dissected every frame, lyric, and timeline, while even longtime defenders began to hesitate. Jay-Z's camp remained silent, offering neither denial nor clarification, which only intensified speculation. Soon after, 50 announced Part 3, Empire of Shadows, teasing a web of alleged connections spanning celebrities, financiers, and media power players. When it dropped, it opened with unseen footage from a shelved early 2000s documentary, showing a tense exchange involving Jay-Z and a business partner. Context unclear, but presented by 50 as evidence of hidden deals. Screens flashed with what he claimed were offshore accounts, wire transfers, and shell company property purchases across multiple countries, which he dubbed the Carter Network, stopping short of accusations while making implications unmistakable. An anonymous, distorted voice witness then claimed first-hand knowledge of hush payments and intimidation tied to early ventures, stories impossible to verify, yet unsettling to many viewers. The episode ended with the list: dozens of names of former collaborators who slipped out of the spotlight. Reactions ranged from disbelief to calls for accountability, with some calling it the most elaborate takedown attempt in hip-hop history. As 50 teased Part 4, the throne in flames, rumors swirled of sponsors reconsidering deals and executives holding emergency meetings. Jay-Z still said nothing, while Beyoncé posted a cryptic image, a tip chess piece, that sent fans spiraling with theories. Whether calculated provocation or cultural reckoning, one thing was undeniable: 50 Cent had seized the narrative. As the final slide declared, "Legacy is a story. I'm just making sure we tell all the chapters." The throne, at least in public perception, was shaking, and the culture was watching every second.